Ask Reddit. Left-handed people, what are some hurdles you face in a right-handed dominant world? Spiral notebooks are torture devices. Scissors, universal does not mean universal. Having to use your non-dominant hand for handshakes, scissors, notebooks with large rings, inky pens, getting it all over the side of your hand, pinky finger, phone apps optimized for the right hand, writing on whiteboards without rubbing off the pen. Whoa, you're left-handed, people you've known for years and have said this to you several times over the years. Hitting elbows while writing and eating. Having to teach myself how to hold a pencil, in Ms. Clayton's defense, I don't think she'd ever had a lefty in her class before, but I basically had to figure it out on my own. Should also mention, the way you write with the left hand is way different than how you write with the right since you push the pencil instead of pulling it. Does anyone else find that they have left and right-handed ways of doing things? For instance, I write left-handed, throw left-handed, but bat and golf right-handed, and use right-handed scissors, although archery is left-handed, but screw those desks in school with the arm rest on the right side. I once found a desk in one class with a left-side armrest but someone was already sitting in it. When I asked if I could sit there as I'm left-handed and made for people like me, he was like, "Screw you, I got here first," then proceeded to always complain about how his right arm got tired all the time. Right-handed people not celebrating the International Left-Handed Day, which is today. Using pencils and pens without getting it all over your hand, also frick spiral notebooks. And #X200B. Real funny thing is that I mainly write with my left hand and use my right hand for everything else. If I need strength and precision I use my left hand, if it doesn't matter then I use my right hand. Being the only left-handed person in a setting and getting shocked reactions when you do anything with your right hand, I thought you were left-handed. Ladles. Really, the little poor spout is on the wrong side. Having tremendously larger peepees than right-handers. Trying to sign an office birthday card without smudging what everybody else has written. When the delivery guy needs a signature and tries to force the pen into your right hand. Shooting guns for left-handed people can be hard. Some designs have their shell dispenser positioned in such a way that when a left-handed person shoots the gun, the shells fly into their face. Currently, as the only person that's left-handed in my household, it's learning how to crochet and knit. My mom does both a lot, and has tried to teach me quite a few times, but I can't get the hang of it since I'm trying to copy what she's doing but backwards. Otherwise, I have the distinct memory in middle school where I was all alone at a station for the golf segment of P.E., because they only had one lefty club and I was the only left-handed person in that group of kids. That, and finding a lefty baseball mitt was weird because other kids would take it not thinking about it. Can openers. Trying to take notes in college in a right-handed writing desk because there are only 5 left-handed ones in an auditorium that seats 100. People holding out pens to your right hand like to sign for a delivery and then you have to embarrass them and yourself with an awkward cross-body reach to actually pick it up. Edit, also things with handles that also have printed designs, coffee cups, tea kettles or measuring cups with printed measurements on the side, etc. When you hold the handle with your left hand the print faces the wrong way. Any kind of handed school supplies, scissors, baseball gloves in gym, etc. Guaranteed there are only 1 or 2 left-handed ones that are old and gross and or someone else takes them before you get there. People saying, "Oh, you're left-handed, that's so inconvenient. I work in kitchens and it somehow ruins the flow of the place for some people." Simple. When others judge you holding a fork and knife, okay, different hands. So what? The best part is that my left hand can move the gearbox clutch. Not hand but feet. I don't know if anyone said this yet, but driving. You have no idea how long it took me to stop hovering my left foot over the brake. Automatically being destined for hell. On the upside, it's funny seeing the face of the person trying to recover from the joke. I can tell you're single because your right arm is bigger than your left when you tell them you're left-handed. B. I write with my left, but do everything else right-handed. Am I a lefty? Please help, I'm struggling with my identity here. I haven't had to write on a chalkboard in years but man, did that suck as a lefty. You'd have to hold the chalk in a weird pinch grip to write so your hand wouldn't just smear the letters as you progressed. The elderly being shocked, disgusted, disappointed every time I write with my left hand. Scissors is a big one. Also getting graphite or ink on your hand from writing. Everything is right-hand oriented, everything from cars to doors, to placement of trash cans. You don't really realize these things until you do. Also my left-handedness being seen as some kind of crazy quirk. Being a left-handed drummer is a pita. I'm a right-handed drummer, and when I go to play a drum kit that's been set up for lefties, I have to move everything the other way around, and depending on the size of the drum kit, it can take a good 10 to 20 minutes. For lefties, this happens every time they come to a drum kit, and they are more likely to be expected to put it back the way it was afterwards. Coffee cup pictures never face out. I'm ambidextrous RH dominant but prefer to do most things with my LH. As far as hurdles go, there's only one thing that comes to mind. Fricking scissors. My wife and I are both left-handed and have 2 right-handed daughters. Needless to say, they did not get a head start on learning to write. Writing on whiteboards is a horrible experience. PC gaming, it gets so awkward using WASD keys with your right hand. When I was in Peace Corps, I lived in a culture, northeastern Thailand, where you would eat from a communal dish, and you would pick up food with your right hand. Your left hand was used to clean yourself after using the toilet. I had to break my habit of using my left hand as my dominant hand when eating. Being more likely to suffer from alcoholism and dyslexia. 3 for 3 with me. Eating beside a right-handed person. Being paired with the only other left-handed person in the class at school. Oh, you two sit next to each other when you write. Tennis, badminton, oh you'll pair up nicely. Athletics, discus throwing, you two go down the end together as you'll be likely to throw it towards the rest of the class otherwise. Unfortunately, the other left-handed girl in my class was a total tool. As a lefty who loves making art, the feeling of almost finishing a pencil or ink piece and then smearing it with your hand at the last second is absolutely devastating. I couldn't tell you just how many ink drawings I've ruined. Always bumping into people that are walking towards you because you have a tendency to move on the same side as they do. Not a left-hander, but my brother is one. Here are 2 of his main gripes, which he bellyaches about all the time. 1. Tin openers. This one is usually accompanied by injury statistics. 2. Where people put their glasses at dinner parties. He says he frequently hears stories about people who at parties drank the drink of the person sitting next to them by accident because they foolishly used their dominant hand to reach for their drink. Ned. Initially learning to drive a manual transmission car was a little more challenging. It took me 2 seeking hours to find scissors. During back-to-school season, might I add, you would think that they would have more selection, but no. And back in high school, whenever we needed whiteboards, me and my friend, who is also left-handed, would without fail say to each other, "Okay, how much insert color can we get on our hand today?" I write left-handed, but do everything else right-handed. So when I'm on the phone at work, I have to hold the phone in my right hand to be able to write at the same time. I found I was having a hard time when I then wanted to do something on the computer and had to switch the phone to my left hand to use the mouse with my right hand. I assume if you're right-handed you hold the phone with your left hand and can write and use the computer mouse with your right hand. I think I find this particularly awkward because when not using the phone I can write with my left hand while I use the computer mouse with my right hand at the same time. I never normally need to switch anything. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's crazy to me that if you're right-handed you can't write and use the mouse at the same time. Being forced to learn a musical instrument the right-handed way. Needless to say, I never learned the guitar pensive face.